The Jacob Media Sports Network, in partnership with 97.3 ESPN, brings you the Mays and Eytan Show.
Middays with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander.
Now, it's the Midday Show with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander on 97.3 ESPN Radio.
I'm at Parks Casino, the beautiful sports book with a wraparound technology. The 32 screens are in full effect. And yes, the Philadelphia Eagles season is alive. The Philadelphia Eagles season has life in it. There's some issues still that they need to iron out and work out here. But let me say, I throughout the weekend, like you, did not have major, if any, real issue with Carson Wentz. So Forgive me, Harry, for not leading with Carson Wentz. But for me, the biggest thing, or things if you want to look at it, were all surrounding the same thing. One, Jordan Howard finally got the rock. Two, Doug Pederson finally gave Jordan Howard the rock. And three, all five of those guys up front looked like one unit. And they moved and they opened up holes. When you have a guy who played with Emmitt Smith, and a line that made Emmitt Smith say on national TV, my God, I don't think I've ever seen holes that wide. From the offensive line to Jordan Howard's 3 touchdowns to Doug Pederson and Groh and company using the running game as much as they did. I'm just thrilled. Honestly, I'm thrilled that's the way that they won. I'll take a win any way I can. But the fact that they did it that way, Harry, I am thrilled.
Well, me too. I mean, I hope that this is something that we see going forward, and this isn't just a one-off because this team has some injuries and they don't have Deshaun Jackson yet, and they were 1-2 and they really needed a win. So Doug says, you know what, I'm going to sort of go against my natural grain here, and I'm going to run the football. I'm going to help to protect my quarterback a little bit. I still know that, Alshon Jeffrey's just coming back from an injury. He's not quite right, and you could tell that last night. So we're going to lean a little bit heavy on the run game. I hope that is something that they incorporate more often, and this wasn't just a one-off, because I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love a hard-running football team. When you see Howard just banging through there, he's hitting guys, and he's still going forward for 3-4 more yards. One of the 3 touchdowns that he scored, one of the rushing touchdowns, he got smacked so hard about the 2-yard line and just kept on going forward right into the end zone. I'm like, yes.
We have those here.
Oh, we have a cut, call?
I think this was the 3rd touchdown, correct? I tell you what, it's a day in which we should be playing as much Jordan Howard.
Yeah, who cares what it is?
Right.
Well, yeah, the offensive line, you and Aikman, Aikman made the point, and he's absolutely right.
Me and Aikman,
they were beasts last night. I tell you, and I rip Sayamalo when he has a bad game. He had a great game last night. Okay, they were tremendous as a unit, and they ran the football. Their defense came up with 2 goal line stands. They forced 2 turnovers.
Well, they came up with the stands, Harry, but let's be honest. Matt LaFleur.
Well, no, it's not even Matt LaFleur. It's the fact that they were so lucky that Davante Adams left that game with 10 minutes to go and did not return. Because
Correct.
That team was a totally different team. They were already down 1 running back courtesy of Barnett with a cheap shot in the first quarter. But they chose not to run the football. And Matt LaFleur, I'm sure, is probably regretting this and kicking himself in his own rear end today as he's watching the film. Because all they did was pass. But if you have Davante Adams in that football game, I don't think the Eagles survive it.
Listen. Not only did the Packers have Davante Adams in that football game, Harry, but I was sprinkling throughout the draft. Anybody who was looking at that as an opportunity to not take advantage of what we all – like, you don't need to overthink that. We all saw that coming. Davante Adams is going to step on that football field and dominate, and he did. But at the same time,
well, I didn't think to that degree.
Well, okay.
I mean, dude,
but really though, I mean, listen, I get it.
10 catches for 180 yards, and he left the game with 10 minutes to go.
Harry, we were making fun of the fact that they had 2 quarterbacks on game day.
They had 3, and then they were quickly at the end. They were down to 2.
And how Ronald Darby, Mike Heller's on there. We're making fun of how Ronald Darby's out. Like, I get it. You don't realize it until you see it.
How about this Craig James guy stepping in there and making a play?
I thought he was coming out of the broadcast booth.
Oh, yeah, the Pony
SEC
Express.
Network.
From the Pony Express, the SMU days.
That's right.
Yeah, not that Craig James.
No, not that Craig James. The real Craig James. But here's the thing. And it speaks, I think, to where we are with this football team after last night. You're right. When you look at the score, and we'll listen to the Jordan Howard cuts when we get here in a second when we have the Merrill cuts, but you get to Jordan Howard, you want to see that style, you want to see that level of play. At the same time, you still, as you mentioned, are not fully there. Like,
No.
Alshon Jeffrey was a huge addition. And, we were talking about that. I'm telling everybody, Alshon. It was a huge addition, but it just felt like it allowed everybody around that team to breathe. It opened things up for Zach Ertz. Dallas Goedert's continuing to be a red zone target, and why not? He's open in the end zone.
Sort of settle into more of their roles. And how about Aguilar? He had, I think, 0 or 1 target.
No. I don't think he was targeted once. If he was, it was one time.
I think it was 1 target.
But
That's it.
he played the most snaps,
He
right?
did. I saw that. Isn't that amazing? No, he does a good job of blocking and things like that down the field and so forth. But what does that tell you? Does that say that Wentz has lost confidence in him?
I thought so. I think it was Zach Rosenblatt who put that tweet out, and that's exactly what I quoted the tweet with, which is Wentz wasn't trusting him.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't blame him because
I don't either.
Carson Wentz didn't need to throw for 350, 400. Anybody's nitpicking the yardage, it's absurd.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure some people are.
Well, they're idiots. They were on short fields twice.
Oh, he only threw for 170 yards or whatever it was.
3 TDs and 0 interceptions. Yeah. That's all that matters to me. But when you looked at that game specifically from Carson's standpoint, we talked about it before, man. We talked about it with Heller. We talked about it, you and I. Text Sports 609-403-0973 with everybody. This was a humongous game. Mentally, probably the biggest game for Carson Wentz's career.
Thus far. I would say that.
Because the season was on the line. But we also remember the trust factor.
Yep.
Like, are you going to go back to guys that let you down? And you know what? I'm not in Wentz's brain, Harry. I don't pretend to be in Wentz's brain. I'm just looking at it from the outside. Instinctually, it looked like Dallas Goedert open, I'm hitting him. Mm-hmm. Nelson Aguilar open, I might go through another progression.
I'll look somewhere else. Yeah.
This might not be the best place to sit down and eat tonight.
Now, what would you think Alshon was last night as far as a percentage of health? Would you say he was about 70%? Had a couple of drops, had a couple of balls in his hands. I don't know that the focus was really all there, and he might have been, sort of feeling that injury a little bit. I don't know, but he wasn't right.
No, but I think those drops, the two that come to mind, the ball was played on, meaning there was a hand, like somebody was tomahawk. This was not Dallas Goedert or Nelson Aguilar.
Their cornerbacks are good.
They are pretty
I'll
good.
tell you what, that King is out of University of Washington.
They're aggressive,
He was in the same draft as Sidney Jones, but he went first pick, I believe, in the second round that year. Sidney went about 14, 13 picks later. But Sidney Jones was projected without the injury to be in the first round. He's way better than Sidney Jones.
Right. I mean, there were 2 plays that could have been picks from Carson. I'm not here to nitpick. I'm just saying one that was highlighted on the throw was on the goal line, and the other were both involving Alshon. Here's the thing. Probably, yes. I'd say 75%, maybe 80% most. But you look at the difference. Those are balls those are 50-50, or those are balls where he gets the hand on it, but there's a play being made. Mm-hmm. It's not a wide open lack of concentration.
No, I guess. I guess you're right. That's fair.
So, but again, even if and he came in, he made an impact on the scoreboard as well. I just feel like you saw this sense of relaxation. That tension with the wide receiver / tight end position felt like it was kind of gone because Alshon just arrived.
Yeah.
Man. And again, like, he's no savior. But he was a huge impact. Sorry, last
And how about Goddard, too? Not only, the catches that he made, but the blocks he made in the run game, and also on the kick return from Sanders. They got the benefit.
That opened it up.
And one big time to their credit, because Sanders and the blocking was excellent on the one return that set him up with a short field. And then after the field goal from Green Bay, Crosby kicks it out of bounds. I mean, the Cardinals sin. This guy has been in the league for how long?
Too long.
He kicks it out of bounds. I couldn't believe it. 1st and 10 at the 40.
It's
Another
crazy.
short field.
40-yard line.
And they took advantage of it, to their credit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this. Before we even open things up, at Harry Mays TU, at Shander Show, and again, we're live at Parks Casino.
I'm wound up today, man.
And why not? Because it's a good day to be.
And I hate staying up till midnight to watch those games. But, man, how
didn't sleep.
How quickly did you go to sleep? Did you not go to sleep after the game?
Yeah, I couldn't. So I'll tell you, I was supposed to do a hit at 12:12 a.m. for SB Nation Radio, right?
Oh, God.
Well, it's a guy, Alex, he's a good guy, great guy, good host.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do the show with Alex Gold, and I thought because it's Central Time, I thought they meant 1:12. So what I did was I was exhausted and drained. Like I wasn't fired up. I was drained. So I set the alarm for 1:10, and I passed out at
Eastern time.
Correct. I passed out at like 11:30, 11:40.
11:45, I think, is when it ended.
Which was enough time for me to be comatose by the time they called at 12:15 our time. So I slept through there, woke up at 1:10.
And they'd already, it was an hour prior to that.
Right.
Okay.
Realized I blew it. And at that point, I was up.
Okay.
So I was watching King of Queens going back and forth to the Eagles highlights.
Well, in the third quarter, I started to lose it a little bit.
It's tough.
I mean,
Did you not nap?
No, I did not nap.
Oh.
And I did not drink. I did the show at Screwballs last night with Tony. Then I come home and I settle in for the game.
How about Blair Thomas making an appearance?
How about that?
Was that scheduled?
I did not know. It was news to me when I got there.
Did the coach bring him
the
along?
The coach brought him.
Coach flexing, man. Be like,
coach.
Tony, you're going to bring Mays? I'm going to bring Blair Thomas.
Exactly. So I settled in, and about the third quarter, I started to get a little drowsy, right? And then that fourth quarter came, and the way that game ended, there was so much things going on, and it was so intense with the final goal line stand and the interception and everything. I was so wound up, I couldn't go to sleep for another hour.
You were just wired?
Yeah.
So you were up to like what, 12:30?
12:45-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you are normally up early anyway.
I know, 5 o'clock.
So you're going to crash today, right?
Probably.
You're not playing no golf or
no,
anything to
probably
celebrate?
not.
So I'm playing 9 today, 9 tomorrow.
You are?
Yeah. I'm like you now.
Okay.
What happened?
Yeah, I think I need to go see a cardiologist. I don't have the energy right now to even go play golf.
Well, all right. Definitely. Let's take care of that
Yeah.
first. Because you'll play golf, I feel like, with no legs.
Well, yeah, and right now I feel like I have no legs.
Okay, well, yeah, do you need water or anything?
No,
right?
I'm good. I'll get some water during the break.
Now, Josh, you can let me know either on the air. You probably just let us know on the air whenever we're ready to go to Merrill, because today is a Jordan Howard day. Today is a day to celebrate everything that the Eagles did right. Now, listen, Carson Wentz on this show doesn't need any extra props because nobody brought him down.
No.
Like, nobody was questioning him. Steady as it goes with Carson Wentz. Now, can we go Merrill yet, Josh?
I don't hear from Josh. He said, hold on.
Okay.
So, which cut are you going to? Are you just going random?
I want to go in order.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to, in not succession, meaning straight, but I'd like to listen individually to
and then
each
comment.
one of the 3 Jordan Howard touchdowns.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Because you brought up the smash mouth one.
Yeah.
There was that amazing route in which I think it was Mac Hollins who ran his route to a T for the natural pick that opened up Howard's receiving TD.
Well, that was the swing pass
Correct.
down the sideline. He
Beautiful play
waltzed
call.
in. You could have walked in.
Yeah, it was all Hollins.
Yeah.
And credit the kid because he's been ripped a lot, but it was
Right.
all Hollins for moving out. All right, so do we have this is the first touchdown from Jordan Howard on the night.
Wentz in the gun again. Howard to his right. Wentz goes to Howard. He's in for the touchdown and made it look easy. He went in standing up.
That's where you want to go with the football. You get down close. There's no sense being fancy. Hit him in the mouth, go into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now that moment, think about this, and it's cool because each touchdown kind of has something to it, Harry, but that was the first moment. Like, that was where I think all of us collectively were like, yes, not only because the Eagles scored, but also because of Jordan Howard.
Right.
Like, finally, the guy that we wanted to see got the ball in a goal line situation, and they weren't doing something stupid with it.
No, I know. I tell you, it was one of those things where, here they go in the first quarter again, not getting any points, but they got these, early in the second half. And, they took advantage of some good field position and really, hey, is that a huge advantage? Yeah, it is. It's like, well, the naysayers will sit there and say, yeah, but they didn't have to go 80 yards
Who
against
cares?
that. Who gives a damn right now?
Right.
I mean, I'm just looking to try to scratch out a win on the road on a short week. I don't care how pretty it looks. You know what I'm saying? It's not about style points at this point right now. You just needed a win.
Absolutely. I think at this point it's not a matter of testing Carson Wentz. They weren't down, so I don't really trust them in the playoffs. The idea in the playoffs is to be up by 20 points, man, so that you're not in a position to come back. Oh, he doesn't have the – forget that. It's not even analytics. It's just banging your head against the wall. It's nonsense. All right, so the third touchdown is the one that we have. No, we do have all three, at least from what I see here, Josh. Is there a breakdown in communication? Because I see Howard third TD and Howard. Let's listen to. Do we have the reception TD, the receiving TD? All right, let's listen to that.
It is 2nd and 2. Wentz in the gun again. He swings it out to Howard at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Nobody on the other side with Jordan Howard, and he ran untouched into the end zone.
What a great play call. Doug Pederson, what a great play call that was.
That I'm saying, man, to be able to get your running back, and I don't care if it's Miles Sanders, Darren Sproles, or Jordan Howard, but that was more of the momentum, and I think Doug Pederson keeping with Jordan Howard. Now, remember, at that point in the game, you go up 27-20.
Correct. And then Doug went for 2.
Yep.
Okay? Now, I know all the analytics people and all the math people are saying that was the right thing because it would put you up 2 scores. I get that. You'd have been up 9. The problem I have in some of these situations, not all of them, but in this one, is they don't seem to think about, well, what if we don't get it? Because if we don't get it, if we just kick the extra point, we're up 8, which is normally the amount that you're looking for when you're going for 2, correct?
Right. Yeah, you're forcing the other team to go for 2.
Correct. So all you had to do was kick the extra point, you're already up 8. So they go for it. They don't get it. You try to get Alshon in the corner, and it was one of those defended plays that you were talking about early in the show. And it was a really great job by King, the defensive back, and it failed.
He blanketed him.
Right, he really did. He did a great job. I didn't think the throw was all that bad. It was just a great defensive play. So now you're up 27-20, and I'm thinking, man, is that going to come back to bite him? Because if you're up 8 at the end of that game, 35-27,
I see where you're going.
You're like, okay, all right, maybe Aaron Rodgers might score here, but now we're forcing him to make a 2-point conversion to get to overtime. That's all my situation. I'm not screaming at the hilltops about it, but I was wondering, they don't ever seem to think about, well, what if we miss it? Yeah, okay, we're still up 7, but you could be up 8 with an extra point.
Yeah, I guess, logically you're right, and that's why I think I would have just taken the kick and moved it. Maybe if you put them up 9, then
it's a 2-score game.
Yeah, and I understand that, and you're forcing them to kick. They're not going to really go for 2. I get it. It's a risk. It's risk reward. But those are the little things that come back on a 1 or 2 point edge.
I was thinking about that late in that game. I'm like, man, I'd love to have that extra point now.
That's the worst way to go out that, too, because it's a decision that comes back and gets you. Wentz jerseys in the house everywhere here at Parks Casino.
As they should.
And rightfully so.
Now, early in the game, I don't know what you were thinking, but I'm watching this game unfold early, and I'm like, man, this team is just totally, out of focus. Barnett with this stupid play, hitting the running back while he was being held up. He was absolutely stopped, and he comes in there with a cheap shot on the guy's helmet. We all know what happened. He gets carted off. Not so long after that, on the scoring play, Sidney Jones is trying to hang on to the running back. He had an awful, terrible. He had 10 snaps until he got hurt.
Terrible,
and it was terrible. And he's trying to hold on to the running back, and McLeod comes in and just flat whiffs on him. So he scores. The next thing I noticed was, I think it was Hollins on a 2nd and 9 from the Eagles' 46. Wentz is throwing to his right to Hollins. Hollins doesn't even know he's in the play. He's not even looking for the ball. He starts looking back at the defensive back. The ball's coming. He doesn't see it. And he slows down and then steps out of bounds, and there goes the ball right by his ear.
I think they even mentioned that he stepped out of bounds, right?
Was he even in, where is he mentally right there?
I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times I'm ripping the guy, and he made that beautiful.
He did. He ended up making some plays. Right. But I'm just saying, at that point,
he's Aguilar-esque.
I'm screaming, right?
And minus the big touchdown. Yeah, you're right. You had every right to be upset in that moment because for a guy to walk out of bounds and try to come back in and not even know that the ball's coming to him is mind-boggling.
It really is. And then shortly after that, they have a 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 14. This is the next drive. They're buried in their own end for the second time. Barnett let him off the hook and got him out of the hole the first time with a dumb penalty. Here we have Zach Brown trying to rip somebody's helmet off, and he barely grazes the face mask, but he twists the guy's head off.
The whistle had blown for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and Zach Brown wanted a pile driver.
And he's running around going like, hey, what did I do? I'm like, are you serious? That got him out of another hole.
Yeah, and Barnett messed up outside of the strip sack. We'll get to that in a second. It was not a good night for
Barnett.
Barnett.
No, it wasn't.
Not a good night at all
it
for
wasn't.
Mr. Barnett. Now, all right, now I'll say this, okay?
So there's the first couple of plays that had me going crazy.
Absolutely. Now, let's look at this realistically, okay? There is one thing I believe that you still have to look at with some sort of raised eyebrow, with the expectations that if this team truly has saved their season and moved forward, they're going to do something big and special like we all thought at the beginning, has to change immediately. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Trade for Jalen Ramsey.
No.
Okay.
See, that's what I think the Band-Aid is, but that's solving a problem at the surface, not the root. Okay, the surface problem is to trade a first and a third or whatever everybody else wants to throw out there that they allegedly heard is going to happen.
Yeah.
Some big MMQB report about this. No, that's the surface.
Okay, because after last night, I'm ready to do it.
Listen, me too, because Jack Ramsey is better than anybody that they threw out there. Okay?
God rest his soul.
Yeah, seriously.
That guy was awesome.
The doctor is back. I mean, bring him back,
Jesus.
all right? Revive Dr. Jack. He'd be better than anybody out there.
Yeah.
But that's my point, all right? That's not the true issue. The true issue is a man how many times did Aaron Rodgers have the ball in his hands last night?
Well, they had 81 plays.
Okay, 81 plays, and they just minus. I think he had the ball 60 times, 58, 60 times. How many times did they sack him?
Once, the strip sack.
That's it. Now, granted.
He made some great plays with his wheels last night.
And it's Aaron Rodgers.
I
get it. But you know what? You're going to have to just narrow that ratio, man. That's a tough ratio to live by and die by because guys like Dak Prescott, forget Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is an all-timer.
Yeah.
But guys like Dak Prescott, you'll give Daniel Jones an opening even. Why make things more difficult than they are?
Mm-hmm. They had several situations last night where there was Brandon Graham, Sweat.
Not Swoop.
Curry. And Brandon Graham, where they got close. They always get close. And they're within like an inch of grabbing his jersey, and there he goes.
There's got to be some sort of clip or famous line from a movie, right, where it's like, so I know there's what is it, so close but so far. What's that from?
So close but yet so far?
Yeah.
That's a lyric from a Frankie Valli song.
I thought that was also from a movie. Isn't that from a movie?
Carried your books from school, playing make-believe you're married to me. That's where that lyric's from.
Are you sure that Valli didn't lift it?
I don't know. No,
from a Mel Brooks.
Frankie Valli doesn't lift lyrics.
From a Mel Brooks movie? Are you sure about that?
You say that too loud around here, you're going to get beat up. You realize that, don't you?
That's true. I didn't say that. That was a Harry.
That
was a Maze
You better
special.
watch out.
All right, 609-403-0973. It's a good point. And over here is live at Parks Casino. And again, here's how you get on parkscasino.com/PA and use our promo code SWEEP. We just gave it out to our buddy Abu at Dunphy Ford yesterday.
Right.
Got him a cool risk-free bet of $500.
$500.
Use our promo code SWEEP. All right, PARXcasino.com/PA. Right, promo code SWEEP. Now you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, I thought the music had just started there. We got some folks here at Parks that want to get on the show. They want to talk, and they don't realize we don't have a crowd mic.
I know.
To take questions or.
I mean, should I bring that next week?
Maybe.
Would you use the crowd mic, sir?
This guy would. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your name? Tom. Now Tom would use the crowd mic. All right. I tell you what. Next week, you meet us back here at 12:08 next week. And we'll give you the crowd mic. All right? Perfect. See, that's a good idea. It's a good idea to bring that crowd mic out here, I would think.
Beautiful.
We didn't think about that earlier because the sports book is buzzing. Now I have to catch some tickets.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. You're going to talk to Tom
CEO
left.
Joe is coming at 1.
CEO Joe's at 1.
I've already got my parlay figured out. And in fact, I've already wagered on it on the Parks app.